Hey friends, buddies, guys, how's it going? Ash here with Gents. How are you? Good. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about fragrances that will turn anybody into a fragrance lover. So we're talking about those people out there who like to pretend that they hate fragrances. Come on, let's get real. You just haven't smelled the right fragrances yet. That's the problem. What we're concentrating on here today is those fragrances that are easy to work into. Yeah, the type of scents that pretty much everybody on this planet is going to like at least one of these. Let's get real. It's bad news. If somebody says they don't like these, all right, man. You need to make some distance, make a run for it, because they're not human. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about them. Friendly reminder, my new fragrances that I creatively directed are for sale. Blue Ridge, Terra Nova, and Jet Black Enigma. Link in the description to check those out. And if you buy one, use the code GENTSCENTS for 20% off your order. But that's not all. Like a late night infomercial. 15 ml travel sprays. These are limited edition, are also available, $15 each. And they come with a little code for an extra 25% off a future order. And by the way, free shipping with these. With these travel sprays though, only 2,000 were produced per fragrance, so 6,000 overall, and most of them are sold already. So yeah, not many left at all. This is probably gonna be the only time I mention them at the beginning of a video because they will be sold out and gone. And once they're gone, they're gone. We're not making more of those. Okay, fragrance time. Let's jump into it. First one, Tom Ford Ombre Leather. So this one I chose because basically it's a leather fragrance for both people who do really like leather fragrances and also for people who do not really like leather fragrances. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like a leather scent for everyone. That's really how this one comes across. It's a big compliment puller, very versatile, has a nice little bit of sweetness to it, has some soft spices in there. Just smells absolutely awesome. So wearable, no animalic feel to this, no funkiness or harsh edge, just ultra smooth from the opening through into the dry down. So if you were gonna have somebody smell a leather fragrance who just isn't even into fragrances at all, let alone leather ones, this one is a great place to start, possibly the best place to start. After that, Versace Pour Homme. This stuff, an easy wear, a great go-to fragrance almost any time of year. In wintertime, maybe it's not quite strong enough, but spring, summer, and fall, you can bust this out whenever you want. Really safe for office wear as well. It's a potential date night type of scent, as long as it's warm outside. It's a very clean fragrance. It is similar to Missoni Wave, similar to Chanel Allure Sport, but of those three, I would say this one is the freshest of the bunch, especially just right off the top, followed by Missoni Wave and then Allure Sport in that order. Allure Sport, a little bit heavier, creamier, still smells awesome. Missoni Wave kind of splits the difference. But Versace Pour Homme, this is a great fragrance for someone who doesn't like fragrance because it's just clean, fresh, easily approachable, and doesn't cost all that much, at least if you shop at discounters. If you buy it at retail, then it's gonna be retail cost. It's gonna be pretty close to everything else here. Next up, Prada Lunarosa Carbon. So Lunarosa Carbon smells similar to Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette, but Lunarosa Carbon is not quite as aggressive, not quite as metallic, so it doesn't overwhelm people as easily as Dior Sauvage does. Because Dior Sauvage, if you go a little too heavy on the trigger, people can feel like it comes across too heavy-handed, too aggressive. That type of scent where you could wear it into the office, and if you spray too much Sauvage on, then the old ladies that also work at the office are gonna start hacking and coughing and pretending like they're dying, writhing on the ground. Who sprayed that on? I don't know from experience or anything. Lunarosa Carbon though, not quite that in your face. Yes, it has good performance, but like I said, just toned down a little bit classier, you could say, a little smoother than Dior Sauvage, but still smells very similar to that scent. And we all know that Dior Sauvage is a great compliment puller, very versatile. So it's that type of fragrance a lot of people are gonna gravitate toward. After that, Azzaro, the most wanted Eau de Parfum Intense. It's a long name. There's also the most wanted Le Parfum. Don't get them confused. Very slightly different. This is absolutely what is popular right now in men's fragrance. Like, this encapsulates everything that's popular in newer releases. It has this kind of warmth, this gourmand edge to it, this sweetness that's just very appealing, this, again, warm spiciness to it as well. And that makes it a big compliment puller. Obviously, this is what people are going for right now. And so if you're looking for a fragrance for fall and winter time, that's great during the evening and also works during the day as well, as long as it's a little chilly outside, then point them towards something like this. If they like this, then they're probably going to like Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal. They're probably going to like Emporio Armani Stronger with You line, and a number of other things out there that kind of follow in those fragrances' footsteps. Then we got 1 Million Parfum from Paco Rabanne. This one is great at blinding you guys because I can see it reflecting in the lens. So 1 Million Parfum is not really my cup of tea. I don't love this fragrance at all. And yet, when I've worn it, I've gotten copious amounts of compliments, both from people I do know and don't know. My wife likes it, her friends like it. It's just one of those deals where I wear it and I know other people are like, man, you smell great. What do you got on? And I myself am thinking, I really like this a whole lot. But that's not what this list is about. This list is about fragrances that people who aren't necessarily insanely into fragrances are going to dig. And my experience with this tells me, yes, they do like it. It does not smell like 1 Million. You would think with the name 1 Million Parfum, it would be that, a parfum take on 1 Million, but it's really not. Sort of a solar sunscreen kind of vibe mixed with a leather bag, essentially is how that smells. So a very different 1 Million, but one that absolutely will not go unnoticed. One of the granddaddies of blue fragrances is up next, Bleu de Chanel. This is the Eau de Parfum. Also, the Eau de Toilette would work just as well. Depends on which one you'd gravitate more toward yourself. The Eau de Toilette, slightly fresher. The Eau de Parfum, a little bit more classy and refined, we'll say. The Bleu de Chanel DNA just works. It's got this little puff, this waft of incense that goes through the fragrance, gives it this nice bit of intrigue. The opening, super appealing. That citrus ginger kind of combination works perfectly in this scent. Then as you dry down, you've got a bit of woodiness and amber that comes out. It smells fantastic. It's really a year-round fragrance. Any season, daytime, nighttime, any situation you could find yourself in, it'll work. So this is that kind of Swiss Army knife, jack of all trades type of fragrance that you could introduce somebody to, and they could buy just one bottle and wear it pretty much everywhere. That's if you want to have like the most basic of fragrance collections. One fragrance. That one will work better than just about anything else out there. Then we got this guy, cheap from discounters, Perry Ellis, America. That's right, get a little America, drop these bombs on somebody. And by bombs, I mean sprays. Sprays of America. Freedom juice. So America smells a bit similar to Aventus, Creed Aventus, only much more affordable. Has a nice pineapple in the opening, so you get this juicy, sweet fruitiness. Once again, very appealing. Instead of leaning into that smokier, darker side of Aventus, like some fragrances do, fragrances that are inspired by Aventus, some of them will go more that route. This one keeps everything just sweet and mass appealing. Then we got Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé from Javashi. This is a great release, came out this year, and it's going to be a little more challenging for somebody not into fragrances than most of the other things here. Not that the fragrance itself is challenging, because it isn't. It's iris forward. That's really the focal point of the fragrance here. And so for somebody who has never really gotten into scents or men's florals, then they may smell this and be like, well, I don't know what this is. This is kind of weird. I'm not going for that. But it is one of the more approachable iris fragrances for men. Well, that does iris in this way, because this is that more creamy style of iris as opposed to, you know, a very soapy iris. Also has a really welcoming boozy note to it. Gives it this nice sweetness, and the warmth is there as well. It's another perfect fall and wintertime fragrance that's classy also. So if you want to be a little bit more adventurous, you could go with something like that. Then we got Jazz Club by Maison Martin Margiela, part of their replica line. Of course, one of the most popular, if not the most popular fragrances in the entire replica line, and for good reason. It has rum, tobacco, vanilla, and vetiver as some of the notes in the fragrance. Very nice, approachable sweetness to this one that lingers for quite a while. The tobacco has a light smokiness to it, but not overdone, so it shouldn't scare anybody away that's not really used to wearing fragrances that much. The performance here is good, but not apocalyptic. So it's not one of those fragrances where you can accidentally overspray really easily. I say that because some people who are just getting into fragrances maybe won't know how much is a proper amount to spray on. They go a little bit too heavy with something that already projects like a monster, and then it becomes just one of those uncomfortable situations where everybody knows you sprayed on too much and you don't smell good anymore. Like you become one of those cartoon characters where you walk by some flowers and they all just wilt. People pass out in the street. It becomes pandemonium. So this one has a good enough performance that you can spray it on just a few times and people can pick it up, but it's not one of those ones that, like I said, one spray too much suddenly becomes a big issue. And then last but not least, we have the strangely named Polo Cologne Intense Eau de Parfum, of course by Ralph Lauren. Yeah, the name doesn't make a ton of sense because it's a cologne, which typically, you say cologne to mean either eau de cologne, which is a weaker concentration, or you say cologne because you're saying, oh, this is very fresh. And so you just use cologne as kind of a descriptor to mean that. But then it was like they also didn't want people to think that it had no performance. So they were like, call it a Cologne Intense and then make sure people know it's an Eau de Parfum. Polo Cologne Intense Eau de Parfum. So this is going to be more for guys who do want a little bit of that throwback masculine style to their scent. It is very aromatic. It's green. You have basil in there. You have mint. You have patchouli. You have ambroxan. You have vetiver, clary sage. So this is going to be a fragrance that has a little bit of like an outdoorsy feel to it. Great for spring. I think summer also and early fall. Good for daytime or nighttime. It's classy, little hint of maturity to it. So some of these others are going to appeal more to younger guys, but still a great versatile scent. And that one you could maybe use as like a bridge into more modern fragrances for somebody who maybe refuses to smell anything new. It's worth a shot. So there we go. Those 10 fragrances, there's gonna be something in there that they like. If there isn't, like I said, not human. You gotta get away. Contact the authorities. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.